How old are you?
I'm 38.
What made you interested in an 80-year-old man?
I was lonesome, lonely.
Janice Laney used me.
He told me he loved me.
I feel like she took advantage of me.
And he wanted to marry me and take care of me.
She proved herself to be a gold digger.
Your Honor, I am wife number 8 to him.
Wife number 8?
Janice is not divorced from her first husband.
No.
I was annulled because he was still married to his first wife.
Oh, this plot thickens.
Today, Janice Laney and Walter Laney face off in divorce court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matter of Walter Laney versus Janice Laney. I understand the two of you are before me for divorce, and Mr. Laney, you want me to decide some other issues for you. How may I help you?
You may help me, Your Honor. I feel like Janice Laney used me. I feel like she took advantage of me, and she proved herself to be a gold digger.
What makes you feel that way, Mr. Laney?
When I went into this marriage with her, the credit cards that I got, and I told her before we even thought about credit cards, I said, I want you to be happy. I'm going to do all the things in my power to make you happy. And don't use the card unless you just have to and you're out at a place. I don't want nobody else helping you to do anything. I have proof to prove that everything that I did for her to show her that I loved her and I wanted her to be dependent on me and not just use me like she did.
Well, sounds like she was rather dependent on you, just like you wanted her to be. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I did want her to be dependent on me, Your Honor, but I did not want her to take $3,000 and go to the boat and go with her friends.
And go where?
She went to the casinos.
Oh, she went gambling with your money.
Gambling with the money, and she went splush with her friends and everything, and it was just
splurging with her friends.
Yeah, well, her ex-boyfriend.
What proof
she took her ex-boyfriend?
Ex-boyfriend went with her on some of this giving.
He didn't see me with no ex-boyfriend, and I did not take an ex-boyfriend.
The detective,
let me see those bills and see what they tell me.
The detectives that viewed this case.
Hold on a moment, Ms. Laney.
The detectives that went through that case had all the evidence. And it's all stated right there, Your Honor.
So the charges, let me get this from you. You allowed her to be a signature on your MasterCard?
Yes.
And you told her there were some conditions to using the card?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
And what were those conditions?
Those conditions were unless she was out somewhere and needed and had an emergency to use the card.
So it's for emergency purposes?
That's right.
So what makes you think she used you? Is it because of the age difference? How old are you?
I think a lot, Your Honor, was due to that because after
well, how old are you, Mr.
I'm
Laney?
80 years old.
And how old are you, Mrs. Laney?
I'm 38.
You're 80 and you're 38?
Yes, ma'am.
What made you interested in an 80-year-old man?
Well, I used to stay next door to him. And he would always come out and watch me and stuff. And 2 weeks after he met me, he told me he loved me. And he wanted to marry me and take care of me. He didn't want to work.
While you were staying next door to him 2 weeks after you met him, did you know what he was doing? Hold on, Mr. Laney. Let me hear from her a minute, okay? 2 weeks after he met you, he told you he loved you.
He used to always sit outside and watch me. Watch when I come and go. And one night, I spent the night at my cousin's house so we can go to church the next morning. He called me over there that Sunday when he come from church, and he told me he was sick. He had ulcers, and his ulcers had made him deathly ill because I didn't come in that night, and he was wondering where I was, and that he loved me, and he wanted to marry me and take care of me. Okay, and he didn't want me to have to want for nothing.
Now, that's what he said. Hold on a minute. That's what he said to you. He loved you. He wanted to marry you, didn't want you to want for anything.
Right.
My question to you was, what did you say to him? What made you interested in marrying him? Were you watching him for 2 weeks, too?
I was lonesome, lonely, and I felt like, he really did.
Did you feel like he had a little money?
No.
Your Honor.
Money was never a factor.
Your Honor.
Hold on. So why were you interested in him?
Because I wanted a companion.
So you didn't have any interest in him? He just told you he wanted to marry you and wanted to take care of you and wanted to love you, but you had no interest in him?
It sounded very interesting to me.
Sounded very interesting to you. So marriage now is an interesting affair?
Not now, because I grew to love him.
Why did it sound interesting to you that this older man
Because I
wanted to love
hadn't
you.
had no one to ever tell me that they wanted to take care of me and sit me down and buy me a car and do all that stuff.
Okay, now we're gonna get it. So it sounded like a great proposition to you because he wanted to give you some things that no one else had ever offered you.
Right.
Did you offer her all of these things and tell her you wanted to give her that?
I didn't offer her a lot of things. I wanted her to, for her and I to be joint in most everything that we did.
Did you tell her you wanted to sit her down?
I didn't tell her to sit. I wanted to sit her down.
Did you tell her you was gonna buy her a car?
She wanted to go to work. She bought a car.
Did you buy it?
I bought a
She
car
bought a
3
car.
years after we was married because he did not buy me one. I didn't have transportation. Where we would stay, the bus did not run out there close to where we stay. You have to walk a little ways. And he has 3 vehicles. He didn't let me drive neither one.
Your Honor, that's not true.
I had to pay him to take me to work.
That is not true, Your Honor.
I had to pay him gas money.
That is not true,
on
Your Honor.
Fridays for taking me to work.
Hold
for
on,
that
Mr.
week.
Laney, let her finish.
I had to pay him gas money on Friday.
So you paid him to take you to work.
I had to pay him gas
That's
money.
not true,
He did
Your
not
Honor.
pick me
That's
up
Quiet,
from work.
Mr. Laney, let me hear from her.
He picked me up on a few occasions, and he stopped. I had to get someone to take me home. I saved my money and got my income tax money, and I bought me a vehicle.
So you
that I
bought
can
your
have-
own car?
Yes, so I can have transportation to and from work.
Well,
I
explain
kept
these
it up.
credit card charges.
I knew some of it. I didn't use a whole lot of them.
Who was going to the casino?
Your
I
Honor,
went to the casino
Your Honor,
And who were you going to the casino with?
by myself. It
Your
was
Honor.
not with no boyfriend. Wasn't nobody implicated in there. I went on my own.
And it wasn't with your cousin.
No.
And it wasn't with your sister.
No,
That's
me and
not
my
what the
sister went,
detective
but we
said,
did not.
Your Honor.
The detective was not at the casino to see what I did.
the
Well, why did
detectives-
you call a detective?
the
Because your wife was
detectives
going to the casino.
They went over this account because she overdrawn. I would have never known about it. She didn't know how much the face value
limit
of the
was.
card was. So she overdrawn, and old Howell called me and told me, say, you've overdrawn on your card. And I say, I haven't even used the card.
Now, how do you know she gave the money
That's
to
what
this
I
other
wanna know.
person?
Well, this is what I only got that from
The detective was not there. He don't
so
know
you don't
who I
know who
gave
she
it.
gave the money to.
No,
But
Your
there's
Honor.
$2,859.54 of charges at the drugstores and the casino. Most of the charges being at the casino. What's the drugs charges for?
I have migraine headaches.
And going
I'm
to the
under
casino and gambling it helps your migraine headaches, is right? That's what the doctor prescribed.
No. The doctor prescribed the medication.
But the migraine headaches didn't stop you from gambling.
No.
Didn't affect your gambling.
No, ma'am.
Your
Did you
Honor?
tell Mr. Laney that you were using this credit card?
Yes.
No,
every
Your
time you
Honor.
went?
Not every time.
No, Your Honor.
Did you tell him you were using this credit card all the time?
No, Your
Not all
Honor.
the time.
Why were you using
Because
the
he
credit
never
card instead of
asked me.
cash?
He never did ask me. He gave it to me and told me I can use it as I saw fit.
And you saw fit to gamble with it.
Yes, ma'am.
When divorce court returns, Walter accuses Janice of being married to another man.
Janice is not divorced from her first husband.
No.
Your Honor, I am wife number 8 to him.
Oh, this plot thickens.
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. Divorce Court is back in the case of 38-year-old Janice Laney, who is divorcing her 80-year-old husband Walter because she says he won't give her the things she wants.
So, Mr. Laney, were you buying her when you offered her the credit card?
No, Your Honor.
And then it fell back on you?
I began to know and fall in love with Janice as time went by, but now that had me to lose a lot of faith and a lot of confidence in you.
You sure
I have
I'm
another
wife number
statement.
8?
What's the other
I
statement?
have another statement here
What's that?
I would like for you to take a look at. Janice is not divorced from her first husband.
I didn't
and
get a
I went
divorce
through,
because I'm annulled.
I've gone through,
Don't tell me that.
all of this.
I'm annulled.
I've
You
gone
a
through all
bigamist?
of,
No,
This
when
is
I
not-
married my first husband, I
This is
came to
not a
find
no.
out.
Hold on a second.
This is not a null, Your Honor.
Let me see
When
this.
I came to,
Hold
when I
on, Miss
married,
Laney. Let me see what I'm looking at.
I was annulled because he was still married to his first wife.
Oh, this plot thickens. This says a default judgment was entered in 94. When did
And
the two
never
of you
rendered.
marry?
Never rendered. We
We
were
married in 94,
94.
October 27th.
94.
But did you ever see a judgment of annulment?
I went to the lawyer and I signed it.
A judgment of nullity?
Uh-huh.
There
Because
is
we
not
was
a-
not legally married.
There is
He
not
was
a-
still married to his first wife, and I found out.
So what you're saying is that your marriage to this other man, your other husband, your first husband, was annulled.
Right.
So when you married Mr. Laney, it was valid.
It was a no when I married him.
Did you check the courthouse to see
Yes,
if there
I
was an
did, Your
annulment?
Honor. Yes, I did. It's no annulment.
No
It's a
annulment.
No annulment, Your Honor.
It's a no.
Well, Mrs. Laney, I don't know if it has or hasn't. I have to take your word for it now because I don't have any other proof. This doesn't prove to me that she didn't get the marriage annulled. This simply says that there was a petition for dissolution filed, and the minutes don't say that a judgment was granted.
It
This
was
is your
not
writing
granted.
that says no decree of divorce.
It was not granted, Your Honor.
But that's your writing. That's not the clerk's
no,
writing.
No, it was at the clerk's office when I asked the clerk.
I understand that, but the document itself simply says default. It doesn't tell me.
Default.
Right, Your Honor, I am wife number 8 to him.
Wife number 8.
No, she's not, Your Honor. I was
what
married.
number
Received
is
a
she
letter
to you?
from wife number 7
no.
right after, shortly
No,
after I
Your
married
Honor,
him.
that's not true. That's not
Well,
true,
hold on.
Your
The
Honor.
only reason he was bringing that up to me was to determine the validity of your marriage to him. I don't know if he was your wife number 8
Yes, I
No,
or
am.
number
Your Honor.
7. It really
No.
doesn't matter as long as, are you alleging that any of his divorces were not valid?
I don't know.
Yes.
I
You
didn't bother to
just,
check?
wife number 7 just
Your
wrote me
Honor.
a letter, certified letter.
And what'd she
asked
tell
me,
you?
Your
that was
Honor.
I,
Hold on,
told
Mr.
me
Laney.
that I was wife number 8, that he liked the 15-year-old girls.
Okay, now, hold on a sec. Let me say something to you. You've just made an accusation based upon a letter you received from somebody that you didn't know. You didn't know wife number 7.
don't even know
Well,
her.
let me suggest something to you. Don't ever repeat accusations like that against people without some type of substantiation. That's not very nice. And it could cause this man serious problems just because you're angry. That's a very serious allegation.
Well, it was
And
just
if you
in the
thought
letter.
it was something wrong, if you thought that he had done that, would you still, wouldn't you check into
Well,
it?
I can't say that he didn't do it because I have a testimony here from a friend of mine where when she was pregnant, he pulled her in a house. He was in a house. He took up her groceries. He pulled her to her and tongue kissed her.
That's not
He did
true,
another
Your
friend
Honor.
of mine
Well,
like that.
excuse
He
me,
went behind.
if he tongue kissed her, takes 2 to do that.
Well, he did another
that's
friend
not
of mine.
true,
she
Your
came.
Honor.
She called the house
That's
one
not-
day.
And tell me
she-
what's the significance of all this related to
She
you
asked him-
running up these bills?
She asked him to rent her a car.
But
And he
Miss
told
Laney-
her to ask me, and then he did it to her, and because she didn't pay him,
that's
he
not
took
true,
her to
Your
small
Honor.
claims court, but he never got his
That
money.
is
Okay,
not true,
hold
Your
on,
Honor.
Mr. Laney. Now, I guess you told me all that to try to smear Mr. Laney's character.
No, I'm not trying to smear his
Well, then
character.
tell me what was your purpose in telling me that?
I'm just bringing up what was said.
Why?
What was true.
You're in a habit of bringing up what people say about people?
No,
Just
but
to be
this
bringing
here,
it up?
he got mad. I believe this was true because of the fact that after she told me and I questioned him about it, he didn't want to ever say anything to her. He was mad about it. Well, if it wasn't true, he had no reason not to be
Okay,
mad at
now
her
tell
about
me
it.
what does that have to do with you running up these charges over there at the casino?
Nothing. He has went to the casino too with me. He didn't tell you that.
Well, you tell me. That's
He
what
has-
I'm asking. Tell
he
me
has
something
been to
like
the-
that.
Me and him has been to the casino together.
So you've got, so some of these charges were when he was with you?
He has spent some of the money.
Did you go to the casino with him?
To eat. To
No,
eat.
didn't have when
The
we went
only-
on the boat
The only
together.
thing that I haven't spent a single dime at the casino pulling no
I won some
arm.
money once. He got the money. He went and cashed it in. And you wasn't on the casino when you
I
did
don't-
that?
The
I
issue
don't-
was not whether he was at the casino, whether he cashed the money in. The issue was, did he use a credit card
No, I
at
did
the casino?
not, Your Honor. I
Tell
did
me
not.
that.
I don't know if he
No.
used it at the casino.
Did he
but I
use
know
this
I
credit
did.
card?
No, Your Honor.
He had one and I had one, so I can't say if he used it or not.
All
'cause
the
I
charges
wasn't
here
always with him.
are your signature.
But those are the ones that I used.
Your Honor, here's another statement, and it's signed by a notary. And I had to start to doing things when I lost trust in Janice because she wasn't coming home at night. And here's
I
a
would come
here's a
home, he would
statement.
lock the door. I
Here's
didn't
a
have a key to
statement
get in
where
my
I
house, so how
borrowed.
am I supposed to get in?
I borrowed $500 for her,
And I paid you?
helping her with the car and
Give me
helping her
that piece
with
of paper
It
before
was
he
some
not
more
dropped me with
issues.
no car.
And this is signed by her.
That was not happening
She
with
only
no car.
paid-
He never
she only
did
paid me
nothing for my car.
$200.
All right, I don't need both of you talking at the same time. Just tell me, what is this paper supposed to tell me?
A loan that she got from me.
So
and
you loaned
then
her some money?
$500 on a credit card, and she only paid me $200 of that money back.
But if you gave her the credit card, and told her she could use it.
I didn't tell her to use it in the manner of going to no casino, Your Honor. And
You
I
didn't tell
did
me how
not.
to use
I
it.
did not know that she was buying drugs like she was buying drugs.
Did you know she had migraine headaches?
I knew she had migraine headache, but you know what? This lady here could sit down and think of something ailing her. She had operations on her hand.
I had carpal
She
tunnel
had
syndrome 'cause
she
I'm a
had
cook.
hysterectomy, and every time that she had an operation, behind the operation came a whole bunch of painkillers.
Well, you know
And
what? Because behind a hysterectomy comes a whole bunch of pain.
Divorce court returns. The judge renders her verdict. And an update on the case of Dominique Vasquez versus Eli Zimmerman.
What is a tight pit bull?
Look at these ham hocks right here. Look at that's tight.
It's pretty tight, Your Honor.
Divorce court will be back in session in a moment. Divorce court is back and the verdict is in the case of Walter Laney, who is divorcing his 42 years younger wife Janice because he says she was only after his money and not his heart.
This case is no different than when two people get married and one has a credit card in her hand and she runs over to the largest department store and charges up clothing.
It wasn't
And you
clothing,
don't,
Your Honor.
I know that. I said it's no different than. Listen to me.
All right.
And the woman charges up clothing and husband comes back and say, I don't know anything about it. I didn't know she had this habit of charging clothing so much. Or when the man has a credit card. Now, the reason I'm not going to make it a community debt is because it's a gambling debt. You were the only one who benefited from that gambling debt. So to the extent that the charges were incurred for gambling, I'm going to order you to pay that portion of the credit card expenses. All of the charges incurred for gambling, it did not benefit the community, it did not help you, it ruined it. So you will pay those charges. The charges incurred for the drugs, if it was painkillers, if she had medical problems, if a medical doctor prescribed them, then she could charge them. And she could get the medication, whether you think she needed it or not. Mr. Laney, when you tell somebody you love them, you want to marry them, you want to give them everything, any woman worth her grain of salt, if she doesn't have anything, is going to accept the offer.
I didn't say that,
So,
Your Honor.
you laid an offer on the table? You told me that you gave her the card and said you wanted to give her what she needed, you wanted to take care of her, you wanted to provide for her, you wanted her to be able to depend upon you. Unfortunately, you meant it in a different manner. You gave her the card and she used it for gambling. I'm not going to force you to pay the gambling charges. I don't think that was right. But the drug charges for her medications, yes. Anything else? I don't think so. Court's adjourned.
All rise.
When divorce court returns, an update on the case of Dominique Vasquez versus Eli Zimmerman.
He's irresponsible, he's self-absorbed, and he's jealous. I did not know this about him because I married him a month after I met him.
Closed captioning for divorce court provided by. If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. And now for an update on a previous case in divorce court. After a whirlwind romance, Eli and Dominique got married, but the marriage quickly fell apart.
We didn't have a good time?
I do not want to remember our wedding at all. He's irresponsible, he's self-absorbed, and he's jealous. I did not know this about him because I married him a month after I met him.
She knew she could push my buttons.
What are you talking about?
And
I told you every single time, I love you, I'm with you.
Although Eli wanted to stay on good terms with Dominique, he was desperate to keep his beloved dog, AJ.
I was homeless. I had a lot of hard times.
And you kept the dog.
That dog never went hungry. That dog slept where I slept. That dog went into restaurants where I went. That dog rolled everywhere with me. This is the tightest pit bull you ever see.
What is a tight pit bull?
Well, okay, check him out. Come here. Look at these ham hocks right here. Look at that's tight right there. He's strong. He's beautiful. He is.
It's pretty tight, Your Honor.
That dog's been moving around with you the whole time you've owned him. He's not ever had a stable home. If
Well,
you
that
love
dog-
him, then you'll let me take him.
This man said, I'll sacrifice food, I'll sacrifice shelter, I'll sacrifice my own self for this dog.
The judge agreed that AJ would be better off with Eli. As they left court, Eli tried to talk to Dominique, but she refused. Since then, Eli has entered into a new relationship, and he and AJ got parts in a TV show.
I feel very disappointed. I made a mistake or two in stating how much I loved Janice, and I think that the judge just ruled in the wrong decision.
Well, I'm not satisfied with the decision because he gave me the credit card, and I believe I should have been able to use it as I saw fit, whether it was gambling or clothes or whatever.
In today's session of Divorce Court, Ty and Louise Cochran felt an instant attraction the day they met, and they looked forward to sharing their lives together. But after 2.5 years, the marriage is over.
You want to bring in your sister, your mother, his sister? I can't divorce you from the whole family. You do that.
Ty says Louise became too controlling of everything in the marriage.
You're the only one who's done anything in this marriage.
Yes, ma'am.
Somehow you have it in your head that it's all yours.
And Louise wants more than just a divorce.
You want me to give you your husband's clothes off his back?
Yes, ma'am.
So what am I supposed to do? Have him strip and walk out of here naked?
Yeah, basically.
Today, Louise and Ty Cochran face off to end their marriage in divorce court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matter of Louise Cochran and Ty Cochran. I'm advised that after 2 short years of marriage, you're ready to end it already, Miss Cochran. What's the problem?
Well, the first problem is adultery. There's little problems you can work through, but adultery you cannot work through.
What is the problem with it?
He slept with somebody else that wasn't his wife. She was not his wife. I'm his wife. He should have slept with me if he was in the mood. But no, he went and slept with a little white girl, so that's on him. I'm not going to be married with him.
You've committed adultery according to your wife, and she's not too happy about that.
We were separated at the time, so I wouldn't feel that that's...
Separated?
You were separated?
We were separated
But not
at
divorced,
the time.
Ty.
We were separated, though. I mean,
No,
I
we
was
were
not
separated
living
on
with
account
you.
that you go get
The
a
fact
job,
that
Ty. If you sit
kept
there and
kicking
do
me
right,
out
if
of the
you
house.
do
You kept
right,
kicking me out
then
the
we
house,
was going to
Your
be
Honor.
together.
Are
Ty,
you
all you had to
suggesting
do
that
was do right.
separation justifies adultery? Or having a
not
relationship with
necessarily,
someone else?
No, not necessarily. If you was
Not
horny, you could have came
necessarily,
to
Your
me.
Honor. I just, I guess I got
It just happened,
lonely
huh?
at the time.
It
so.
just happened, huh? I was going
I
down
got
there to
tired
see
of
you,
putting
saying,
up with
Ty,
her
how you
stuff.
feeling? You ain't putting up with nothing, Ty. All I said, I came down there, I said, Ty, if, you know, how you feeling? You know, you doing good. You know, you ready to come home. You ready to do right. But no, you don't want to do right. You
Of
want to go
course,
sleep
though,
with somebody
but I'm
else?
tired of being in and out the house with you. That's
Well,
period.
keep a
I'm
job.
not
What do you
Well,
mean
we'll
you're
kick
tired?
you out.
You're tired of being in and out of the house. Explain that.
Explain that. Well, for the whole time before we even got married, I mean, we couldn't live together.
And why couldn't you live together?
Oh, it wasn't
Differences.
just
I mean,
me.
just
It
our
wasn't just
differences.
me.
It was all you. I
Differences.
mean,
You
I can't-
when we first together, you the one kept breaking up with me, and then you're gonna keep coming back to me talking about, okay, you know, I want to
kicked
be
me out
with
of your
you.
house. Most of the
And-
house we're in are
exactly.
under your
We should
name,
tell you
and
something.
kicked
If
me
it
out
was
of-
my house, Ty, you wouldn't do
Stop.
nothing.
Hold on. You kicked him out of your house?
Exactly.
Why do you call it your house?
Because I was the one paying all the bills
That's
because
what I
he
said.
didn't want to keep a job. So I had to sit there and take care of the bills. I'm the one that had to pay the rent.
What
and
are you
make sure
talking
that my
about?
kids had a
Job.
place.
What are you talking
Boo,
about?
Boo, when
I
did you
kept the
keep a job? When, Ty? When? You didn't want to go in. You went in late when you did go in. And then you want to quit or what? Was you fired? I don't know.
No.
Now, you
I
said that
never,
you quit. You ain't even
No,
in it.
you
Shut
cannot
up.
say
You ain't
anything.
even
You're
in it.
crazy.
You ain't
Down.
even
Did I
in it.
tell you to stand up?
I've always kept a job, Your Honor.
No,
I
you
take
haven't.
good care of my kids.
Oh, do you?
I've cleaned the
do
house.
you?
She's
Your kids
not-
come first, huh?
I mean, she works.
Stop. What kids? And keep some order in here. I don't know. You guys are squabbling among each other. You're trying to tell me a story
ma'am.
of what's going on in your marriage. I'm the one making the decisions. This is not a squabble. This is a court of law.
We have 3 kids. 1 biologically, 2 are mine.
So the 2 of you have 1 child together.
Yes, ma'am.
You kicked him out of the house often, he says.
I told him, I was like, I'll leave. But he don't want to do it because he don't want to take care of the kids. He don't want to take care of responsibilities, the bills, everything else like
You've
that.
never offered to leave.
So
What
you
are
kick him
talking-
out because, stop,
You've never.
come to order. You kick him out because he won't take care of the bills and he won't take care of his children.
And he won't keep a job.
And he won't keep a job.
He will not keep a job.
So
He
when that
wants to
happens, you
kick
say,
it.
get out of
So
here.
why do you bring me
No,
back?
I don't-
Why do
I
you
don't
take me
say.
back then?
I
Why
don't
do you
say.
call
Mr.
me back?
Cochran, why does she kick you out of the house all the time from your perspective?
From my perspective is that she doesn't understand my side as far as being a
help me
male.
understand your side. Why did she kick you out?
I guess she feels I'm not doing my job. I'm not working up to her standards, I guess.
And what are
I'm
you
not
working
living
up to your standards?
To my standards, yes. I'm
And
doing
what
fine.
are your
Well,
standards?
I take care of my kids. I try to keep a job. I mean, it's hard to keep a job when you're in and out of a house. I mean, she's not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not in a stable, I don't consider myself in a stable environment to where I will be able to just keep a job in one certain area.
Was he working when you met him?
No, ma'am, actually he wasn't.
Was he working when you married him?
Nope.
How
He
long
was
did you
gone
know him
30
before you
days.
married him?
A year.
And was he working during that year?
Yes, he was. Temporary services.
So he kept a job for an entire year?
No, he's never kept a job since I met him for an entire year.
So
And
why'd
why
you
is
marry
that?
him knowing that he didn't keep a job for an entire year?
Because I did love him. I really did. I really cared for him. The only reason why you're here is because he committed adultery, and I cannot deal with that.
So you're
The
not
little
here
problems
because
you
he
can
wasn't
work
working?
with. No, that's the little problems.
Well, that's
you
a
can
big
work
problem.
through
That's
that.
why I
and
keep getting
That's
kicked out
why
the
he
house
was
you're
in
on.
Springfield, and that's why he committed adultery because of the fact that he couldn't keep a job and stuff like that.
Because
It's
of
like
the fact that you keep
because
kicking
you
me
couldn't
out.
keep a job.
You're
they cut
being
his
inconsistent,
hour.
Ms. Cochran. You're saying that he's here because he committed adultery, but you put him
Yes,
out the
ma'am.
house because he didn't have a
couldn't
job.
because he couldn't keep a job. He sat there and was
He's
going
never
to
kept a job
Springfield.
according to you?
Huh?
He's never kept a job
I
according
know.
to you?
I know.
So what's
See,
different
And
now
I'm
that you
trying-
married
I
him?
was trying to work with him on that.
Baloney.
But once you married him, it said for better or for worse, and so he didn't keep a job.
Exactly.
Why kick him out?
Exactly.
I still took care of my
did.
kids. Before we even got married, I took care of her kids. We didn't even have a kid. I took care of her kids and her sister's kids. I
And
was
you were
living
darn-
with
When
her
you
and
say
her
take
sister.
care of the kids,
You
you
were
mean
darn
you
good man.
I
cooked and cleaned?
I didn't
cooked,
know what he said.
cleaned the
You
whole
got no
the whole
kids.
yard.
Shut up over
I
there.
cooked, cleaned.
You ain't got no kids.
I
You keep
mean,
getting
I
in.
didn't have a job.
Mrs.
Move
Crocker,
the
who
Z.
are
I
you
wouldn't- I
talking
didn't-
to?
Yeah.
Her,
Who is she
Miss
talking to?
Mouth over there. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Excuse
Who's
me, do
Miss
you hear me?
Mouth?
Do you hear me
That
talking?
would be Kathy K, his
Ooh, let
cousin.
me talk.
The reason
Let
why I
me get up
moved to
there.
Z and out of
Yeah, you
Springfield.
got a problem with me anyway.
Excuse me, Miss K, is that your name?
Yes, ma'am.
I did hear you talking. And I saw your lips moving out of the side of my eyes. Are you a witness in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to
Witness
give
to
you an
what?
opportunity to speak,
Witness
but
to
until I
what?
do so, and Miss Cochran,
See?
you don't talk
witness
when I'm
nothing.
talking.
Yes, ma'am.
You bullheaded.
I'm not playing with you. Your case will be decided without you putting forth all of your evidence because you'll be out of this courtroom if you can't follow the rules of the court. Do you understand me?
Yes, ma'am. I agree.
And you'll never get to be a witness, Miss K, if you keep talking when you're not supposed to be talking.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So I understand you've had a problem in this marriage from the beginning with family members.
Yes, ma'am.
Like Miss
Yep.
K over here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
She doesn't like Miss Cochran. I can tell real easily. Is that right? Is that part of the problem?
She don't know how to keep a job
That's
either.
a big part of the problem, Your Honor.
Miss K, come up.
You like to kick it.
Thank you.
You're so
For one,
welcome.
don't worry
Please
about
state
what
your
job.
name. I didn't ask you to come up here to argue with Miss Cochran. What can you tell me about the marital
She's controlling.
relationship?
She's controlling.
She's controlling her
very,
for what?
very. Ever since I came home, she's been having a problem. This is my cousin. He's like my brother. If she got a problem with us hanging together, that's on her.
So
has
he
a
hangs
family.
out
That's
with
on
you?
her. Not all the time. I'm sure we can hang out. We're family. She has a problem with my whole family.
And what's the
whole-
problem with
No,
your
I don't.
family
I
and
don't
Miss
know what-
Cochran?
Well, okay,
No, I don't.
let's talk about Thanksgiving. Why you invite your whole family over there and didn't invite us?
To Thanksgiving?
Yeah, that's right.
Because we had Thanksgiving at Trina's house, so why we already had it there. Second Thanksgiving
Regardless
I
of
had,
what, you don't
it doesn't
invite
matter. The
us, none
second
of our
Thanksgiving
family
we
to
had, we had it at my
nothing.
house because my
To
sister got out the
nothing.
hospital from having
So
a
we
baby.
have
So
a
we had
family
two.
history of problems.
Yes, ma'am.
You disrespect each other.
No, I don't disrespect her.
She doesn't invite you to
I really
family
don't
gatherings.
care about her.
She
Boo!
disrespects my family. She disrespects my
Very.
mother. She
And why
You
is that?
stole from my sister. How you gonna say
You
sit there and say
disrespect-
somebody
Cochran,
disrespecting
stop.
somebody?
You are a little disrespectful because you're disrespecting this court.
Oh, okay.
That's the last warning.
You need an ID to
When divorce court returns, Louise tries to get revenge on Ty.
So what am I supposed supposed to do? Have him strip and walk out of here naked? You're acting like a bunch of little kids playing marbles. That's not marriage. Grow up.
Are you getting divorced? Do you need Judge Maybelline Ephraim's help settling a dispute? If you want to be a guest on Divorce Court, call 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. Divorce Court is back in session as the judge questions Ty about cheating on his wife Louise.
Tell me about the adultery that she's accused you of.
Adultery was the last time that I got kicked out the house. I went back to live with my mom. We was away for about 2 months, maybe.
30 days.
And I met someone else, you know what I'm saying, that I could talk to, you know what I'm saying, with my problems and all that. I mean, we got along for a while. I mean,
for 30 days, but you didn't live with her.
It was 2 months, Your Honor.
All right.
And,
anybody can get along with somebody for 2 months. You got along with her for 2 months, didn't you?
Of course.
The problem with this case is too many outsiders looking in.
Your Honor, Kathy, Miss K, tried to come to live at my house when we lived on Woodward, and that's why I said that's why we have problems, because they're always trying to be up in our business. His family. That's why I moved to
people in our
Virginia.
business.
She tried to come live at our house, and I told her
you have problems because neither one of you has learned and understood that marriage, everything is not going to be smooth, and you're not going to be happy every day, and the result is not always leave. You need to learn something else when problems are going on in your marriage, other than leave and packing your bags. You be quiet. You said all I need you to say. So now it's clear to me, abundantly clear to anybody, that the marriage is over.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what else can I do for you other than end this marriage?
You can give me back my stuff.
What stuff?
He took my camcorder when he left, and the only reason why I didn't fight him for the day that he took it when he called me out my name, because he would have broke it. Yes, it was.
Who bought your camcorder? Who bought the camcorder?
Your camcorder. What else can I do for you, Miss Cochran?
His clothes.
His clothes?
Exactly. I bought everything he's got on right now, including probably the underwear and the
You want me to give you your husband's clothes?
Yes, ma'am. I'll sell them. I'll give it to the Salvation Army.
You are asking this court to give you your husband's clothes. Which one? The ones on his back?
Exactly, down to the shoes that I got the receipt for.
Down to the shoes on his feet?
Yes, ma'am. I wrote a check
so
for those
what am I supposed to do? Have him strip and walk out of here naked?
I don't care. I don't care. Give him a flag wrap around his butt. I don't care.
I don't feel how...
You didn't earn
Now, I have never heard of such. You want me to order you to want him the clothes off his back?
Yes, ma'am.
And you married him?
Unfortunately,
And this is the father of your child?
Unfortunately,
and
yes.
And you want him to walk out of here naked?
Yeah, basically.
What else?
This right here, I don't know if he wants to show you, is my ring that my mom had to get out of a pawn shop.
What ring is that?
This is my engagement ring that he got me.
The engagement ring?
That he pawned. And I thought I lost it. I couldn't find it till my mom bring it to me out the pawn shop.
First of all, I did not pawn a ring.
Tell me about the engagement ring. Let me see the ring. Tell me about that, Mr. Crawford.
Well, that's the engagement ring I bought for her, engaged to her before we got married. But she says her mother somehow found it in a pawn shop and she had to buy it back.
You know anything about it?
No, as far as it been in the pawn shop, I don't know. I wouldn't pawn my wife's engagement ring.
But you pawned my sister's stuff,
money.
didn't you?
I wouldn't.
We're not talking about your sister's stuff right now. You want to bring in your sister, your mother, his sister. We're talking about you and Miss Crocker. This is not their divorce. I can't divorce you from the whole family. You do that.
Oh, I will. Well, that's just showing that he's done it before.
So if we're talking about, we stay on the subject? We're talking about this engagement ring. Your divorce does not give this court jurisdiction over everybody in the family. And what about the camcorder?
I bought the camcorder. It was my camcorder. When she kicked me out, I felt that was something that I can take with me. I took the camcorder to the pawn shop. That's one thing I can say.
So you pawned the camcorder? I
pawned the camcorder.
Where is it now?
It's in the pawn shop.
So it's in the pawn shop still?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to tell the court?
Yes, I had...
Mr. Crocker, she's quiet a moment.
The car.
What about the car?
Yeah, you should have said something then. The car. Okay, the car's in both of our names. The car's in both names? Of our names. It's his name first and then my name second. But I'm the one that makes the payments on it. I'm the one that writes the checks, pays the cash. The tags are in my name. The insurance is in my name. Besides that, he ain't even got a valid driver's license, okay?
So are you still
he
paying
can't-
for the car?
Yes, ma'am, and I want it out of his name.
Somehow you have it in your head that it's all yours because you're the only one who's done anything in this marriage.
Yes, ma'am.
It wouldn't have lasted
I'm the
that
only
long
one.
if you was the only one doing anything.
I'm the only one trying, the only one who worked,
It
the only
wouldn't
one
have
that kept
lasted that
us
long, let me
together.
tell
They
you.
kept
You're
us
the
in our
only
own
one doing
house.
I
something.
think that I've heard enough.
The judge renders her verdict when divorce court returns. And an update on the case of Walter Laney versus Janice Laney.
Janice Laney used me.
He told me he loved me and he wanted to marry me and take care of me.
She took advantage of me, and she proved herself to be a gold digger.
Divorce court will be back in session in a moment. Divorce court is back with a verdict in the case of Louise Cochran versus Ty Cochran.
I think that I've heard enough, and you've summed it up real good for me. I. That's all I have heard throughout this conversation. I. Somebody told me marriage, you become we.
We would if
You
we
forgot,
worked.
and you forgot. At least he tried, from what I can hear.
No, he didn't, Your Honor.
Oh, you thought you were going to buy your way with him, and it didn't last forever.
No.
I'm ready to rule. You ready for my ruling?
Yes, ma'am.
You sure?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You will not get the clothes off his back. Marriage is a joint effort, even during the months that he wasn't working. That's part of marriage. There may be a down period in your life where you won't be working. And if you're married to someone, you would want them to care and provide for you. That's what marriage is. It's not just when things are going well. So therefore, the fact that you bought clothing during those periods when he wasn't working or paid the gas bill or utility bill, so be it. You're not entitled to any reimbursement. The camcorder, you purchased it for the family, not for you. Again, you're getting selfish. Now that you're angry with her, I take back my gift to you. You're acting like a bunch of little kids playing marbles. You get mad in the marble game and give me back my marbles. That's not marriage. Grow
That was
up.
the first time I ever took
I didn't
anything.
ask you to talk. Grow up. This is not the marble game. When you're in a relationship and you give people gifts, let it be a gift. If it's not a gift from your heart, don't give it. So you gave her the camcorder. It was a gift for the family. The bulk of the family is still over here. She still has the 3 children and Miss Cochran. The camcorder is still for the family. It's awarded to Miss Cochran. Get it out of the pawn shop and give it to her. The engagement ring, the reimbursement for the $25 for getting the engagement ring out of the pawn shop, I'm ordering you to reimburse that. I don't buy your story of I don't know how it got there. Somehow. Reimburse her the $25 that she had to pay to get the ring out of the pawn shop. The title to the car, I can't award it. It can't take his name off of it. As long as the car is being financed, the finance company is not going to let his name come off of it. You signed a contract with them. Both of you signed the contract. Both of you are still responsible for it. The only way you can get his name off the title is you get the car refinanced. And if you want to get the car refinanced and get his name off the title, so be it. He'll sign whatever he has to sign for that. But I can't take away the finance company's power and authority under their contract. All right? Okay. So the car is awarded to you, but the title you have to deal with on a contractual basis with your lender. Okay. That's my judgment. Court's in recess.
When divorce court returns, an update on the case of Walter Laney versus Janice Laney.
And how old are you, Mrs. Laney?
I'm 38.
What made you interested in an 80-year-old man?
I was lonesome, lonely.
Closed captioning for divorce court.
He committed adultery. He slept with a little white girl that he worked with, and then sat there and said that it might have been the only time. I don't believe him. I'm not getting married again, because if I get married again, do I have to sit there and worry about if my stuff's going to get taken from me, if it's going to get pawned?
She keeps making me quit my job. How am I going to be able to do anything? I mean, she's trying to control my life.
Just sign the divorce papers. That's all I want.
session of Divorce Court. When Naomi met Willie Darden, he was a smooth-talking playboy.
They call me Sweet Willie Shine, and they don't call me Sweet for nothing.
But when Naomi got pregnant, he settled down and married her. Now, after 17 years of marriage, he wants a divorce because he says she's just not good enough for him.
I'm the man. I'm a master of everything that I do. I have a superior authority over everything that I touch. The sex was great. Give me credit for something.
I'll give you credit for being able to talk.
Now, Naomi and Willie have come to end their 17-year marriage today in divorce court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matter of Naomi Darden versus Willie Darden. I'm advised that after 17 years of marriage and 6 children, you're ready to throw in the towel, Mr. Darden. Why?
Well, the main reason is because there's a lack of trust in the marriage.
After 17 years, there's a lack of trust?
Yeah. In addition, we've grown apart socially and also intellectually. I don't see any reason to continue.
So there's a lack of trust. You've grown apart socially, and you've grown apart intellectually.
Yes.
Tell me about the lack of trust.
He had a 2-year affair with this lady.
Now, how do you know?
Oh, because I found out.
I admitted it.
Right.
Oh, so you admitted yours?
I admitted it, yes.
So if you admitted having an affair with someone during this marriage,
Right.
how in the world do you have the gall to come in here talking about lack of trust?
Well, I don't know what she was doing.
So how do you justify that?
I justify that because of the fact that she would leave all the time, 5 days a week, tell me she's with her girlfriends or whatever the case may be.
So maybe it was your guilt wanting to transfer to her something that you had done?
That's not true because I wasn't doing anything then. But I got to the point where I got tired of it, and I said, well, the heck with it. If she's doing it, I'll do it too.
What was I doing?
Oh, so 2 wrongs make a right.
No, I won't say 2 wrongs make a right, but the bottom line is people should be more aware of their vows. When you make vows to be with a person, to have and hold, to death do us part, for richer,
Oh, come on, Mr.
and all that.
Mr. Darden, don't make me choke up here.
Well,
You talking about vows and should keep to it.
Right.
Did she divorce you?
No.
But now that you think that she had one.
Well, she's not me. We both think differently.
Oh, what does that mean? She's not me. We're going to think differently.
I can't think for her. Her choices and my choices are 2 different choices.
No. I'm saying you think that she had an affair. You don't know it. Right. You think and you suspect. And she didn't leave you.
Right.
And didn't divorce you.
That's not my problem.
But now you're going to divorce her.
Well, that's life.
Really?
Yeah. That's life. It's cold, but it's fair.
It's cold, but it's fair.
Right.
So I can do it, you can't. Is that it?
I never said that, but the bottom line is 2 years ago, we were supposed to have tried to get things together, okay? We were supposed to came clean with each other, and she told me after that point that,
Is this after your affair?
Initially, yes. Initially, she said that she never did anything, okay? I said, whatever you, I'm not talking to him, I'm talking to the judge. I said, whatever you did, I said, I forgive you for it. I said, but be honest with me. Okay? So later on, she tells me something about, well, you were having your fun and I was having mine too. I said, why are you telling me this now? And my man and this, my man this, my man that. And like I said, I'm too old to play games.
So now, did you confess your affair?
Yes, I did.
And so you all had an open discussion.
Exactly.
And you were supposed to be openly confessing.
We were trying to air out all of our grievances and trying to make things right. But like I said,
so you were honest with her, you said?
Exactly.
But she wasn't honest with you?
That's what I feel.
What do you have to say about that, Ms. Scott?
He's lying. I was honest with him. I never had an affair. He's lying.
I feel she's in denial, Your Honor.
So why does he suspect that you did? Who's Al and who's Joe and who's the other one?
Who's Jonathan?
And who's Jonathan?
Somebody he made up. I don't even know them.
No.
Somebody you made up.
That's
no,
a lie,
you're a liar.
That's
you are a liar.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
Where'd you get
the way I got these names is because she brought it to me. She mentioned these people to me.
Oh, did I?
What did she
How
tell
would
you?
I know?
I don't know.
How would I know
because
these
you're
names?
a liar. That's how you would know.
No, I feel you're a liar.
Oh, okay. But I didn't have an affair. You did.
You mentioned Al, Jonathan, and also Fred.
Right.
Joe.
As a matter of fact,
right. See how he's lying?
As a matter of fact,
Liar.
no, it was Al, Jonathan,
Liar.
and Fred. And as a matter of fact,
Joe. Okay.
As a matter of fact, I spoke to Al because you had his phone number, and I was asking you who's Al.
Okay,
and then there was another guy named John. Pardon me?
When you spoke to Al, what did you find out?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to expect him to be honest with me.
Oh.
You know?
So you're the only honest person in this relationship?
Well, the bottom line is this. What I did was wrong, and I readily admit that, but the bottom line is this. You know, life is too short to play games.
Didn't she forgive you?
Well, so she said, but she constantly brings the girl's name up every day.
Did you forgive him?
In a way, I didn't, no.
Your Honor, I want to say this. I walked into a club, and she was at the club, and this guy's got his arms around her, okay? And she told me that the guy was asking her to go to breakfast, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning at this time, and also the guy gets mad at me and everything and tells me that she never told him she was married, and also that, what else he said? He said, he said also that she told him her name was Sharon. So I walked outside, and I found out the guy was a police officer, and he was telling me that...
So you left him alone, didn't you?
Well, he's got to respect me, too, okay? Because this is my wife he was talking to, okay? So the bottom line was, he tells me that if somebody walks away and all this other stuff, you know, it's going to be him. And I told him, look, I said, I'm not going to die, go to jail, or kill somebody because of another woman's genitalia. And that's what I meant. A woman should have sense enough to try to tell him, hey, look, nothing's happening, I'm married. Why would she tell him her name is Sharon?
Why would
She's out at the club. Maybe she didn't want him to know her real name.
Well, if she didn't want him to know her real name, she should have said, I'm married.
I told him I was
don't
married.
want your drink. No, I don't want you to have your arm around me.
Well, it seems like you have a lot of rules for what women ought to do, but what's yours? You didn't follow it.
Well, the bottom line is lead, follow, or get out the way. So that's the bottom line.
Bottom line is lead, follow, or get out the way.
I'm out the way.
Right.
I'm out the way.
So it's either my way or the highway.
You got it.
Is that what you're saying?
That's what it is.
Okay.
I'm tired of her telling me, you're not my dad. You don't tell me what to do. I do what I want to do. I stay out long as I want to. Pardon me?
Well, are you her daddy?
Yeah, I'm my daddy.
Oh, so that's your view.
Yeah, I'm my daddy.
You should be daddy.
Yeah.
A man should be daddy.
Yeah.
What else? Come on.
Huh?
Teach me. Tell me.
I'm the man.
You the man.
I'm the man.
You're your own
And
man.
what does
He's
that
not
mean?
my man.
Huh?
He's his own man. He's not my man.
No, I know I'm not your man.
Not my man. You're your own man.
You told me many times about your man.
A man should be the daddy in the marriage.
Right.
Joe, you agree with that?
I can't necessarily agree with that, Your Honor.
It's on him. You know? That's on him.
I thought when you married...
His wife was looking.
Oh,
You know,
his
he
wife
can't-
is
he
looking, so he
say
can't
anything.
agree.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. You know?
What if I were to take a poll out there in the courtroom if others would agree with you?
Well, it doesn't matter.
How many of the people out there would agree with you?
I'm firm in my convictions. It doesn't matter if no one believes what I'm saying.
Then you shouldn't be married.
Well, then I shouldn't be.
You're not.
You should be by yourself.
I wasted 17 years of marriage. I wasted 20-some-odd years being with her. And you're right. And you're right. I should have never gotten married. I should have been single.
17 years of marriage.
Wasted.
Explain that.
I wasted it because what do I have to look forward to? Every time I've asked her, does she love me? She says no.
How do you say you wasted 17 years of marriage and nothing to
What
show
did I
for it?
benefit from it?
You got 6 kids?
Praise the Lord. And
Well,
I love
isn't
my
that a
kids
benefit?
dearly.
Can you take care of them?
I believe,
Is that a benefit?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's start with
Other than that, we have nothing in common.
What did you give into the marriage? What did you give?
I gave my time and I gave my love.
And after 17 years, you're now ready to go on to fulfill your
I'm
dream.
ready to do it because I'm the man.
When divorce court returns, the judge questions Willie about the years he says he wasted being married.
I could have been with some other women.
You was. That's why the marriage is over with.
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. Divorce court is back in the case of Darden versus Darden as Naomi testifies about her 17-year marriage to Willie.
So now that we know the marriage is ending because she has not, you've outgrown her intellectually.
Right.
You've outgrown her socially.
Right.
What do you mean by that?
We've outgrown each other. I'll put it like that.
Well, thank you.
Plus.
You acknowledge that that Mrs. Darden does exist.
Oh, no. I would never say anything derogatory towards her because she's the mother of my kids. But at the same time, if she's constantly telling me that she don't love me and she hates me and she's got a man and all this, I'll say, hey, have your man. Have your man. Because
you want to go on and have another man?
I can surely find another.
Well, Willie, you was having an affair for a couple of years, so hey.
No,
I never said I had a man.
said I was
you
sorry.
proved yourself to me.
I said I was sorry
you
about
proved yourself
that.
to me, though.
But at the same time, if that's what makes you happy or floats your boat, then float it.
What floats
Well,
my
she's
boat?
going to float her boat because I'm going to grant the divorce, and you will get divorced.
Oh, well.
Now, since the marriage is over, I suppose somebody wants to take something out of this wasted marriage of 17 years.
Right.
But I don't see what, since it was wasted. You don't have anything if it was wasted, Mr. Garden.
Well, I don't see why not. Why should the man always be the one who never gets anything? Why?
But you said it was wasted and you didn't get anything.
I said emotionally.
Oh, okay. You didn't get anything emotionally out of the marriage. All
right.
Okay.
I mean, if your husband, I don't know if you're married or not,
You
but
had
if your
6 children without any emotion?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when we're not doing that, okay?
When you're not doing that, what's that?
We're not having sex.
Now, remember, you're intellectually superior.
The sex was great.
Oh, okay. The sex was great. All
you know?
right.
I mean,
well, give her credit for something. Thank you.
Give me credit for something.
Oh.
Give me credit for something.
Well, Mrs. Darden would have to do that. I wasn't there.
Because my leg's not broke still.
Give you credit, Miss.
I'm a master of everything that I do.
I'll give you credit for being able to talk a good game.
You're right.
Yeah.
They call me Sweet Willie Shine, and they don't call me sweet for nothing.
Uh-huh. Well, you know, that's another one of those things I'll have to wait for because I won't know, will I?
Yeah.
All right. So what do you think you ought to get out of this?
Well, I should get everything.
Since you've got nothing in 17 years.
Hell yeah.
I should get everything.
Everything?
Including, I would like custody of my daughter, too.
Oh, yeah.
Everything?
Everything. Because most of everything.
Why? Because you the man?
Yeah. I have a superior authority over everything that I touch and come in contact with.
You have a superior authority.
Yes.
Let me write that down.
Right.
Over everything that you touch
And come in contact
with.
Right. I would rather have a superiority complex as opposed to an inferiority complex. I've learned that through life.
I don't think you have a superiority complex or an inferiority complex. I think what you have is a total misconception of yourself.
Well, you can't please everybody, so you please yourself.
So you think you should get everything?
Yes, I should.
But now
because
you told me
I paid for.
Wait a minute. You told me you were 17 years of the marriage and nothing to show for it. So what do I have to give you?
I want the television, I want the VCR, I want the stereo equipment, I want the computer, I want the pictures on the wall, I want the plants.
Oh, you want to take all these items from your family, huh?
And the reason that I want it is because she said she's got a man that's going to do all the things I couldn't do. So let them be happy and let him buy those things for her.
Let him give it all to her.
You got that right.
I'm glad you caught yourself.
You got that right.
I'm glad you're real intellectual. You understand that you're not supposed to say certain things. I'm glad.
Right.
That intellectual part is
That's
working.
why they call me Sweet Willie Shine.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, Mrs. Darden, what do you have to say to this desire to get everything from nothing?
He's a liar. He's a liar.
What do
he
you
didn't
want?
buy everything. I want
I didn't say I bought everything.
I have the kids. My kids deserve this.
Okay, you gave me yours, Willie. I heard you.
You didn't spend nothing. You didn't have nothing to
So
spend.
you want everything too?
Yes.
So what am I supposed to
So
have?
this is two greedy people before me.
I'm not greedy. I am not greedy.
I have the kids.
I am not greedy at all.
Okay. Two selfish people before me.
Material things to me don't mean much.
Material things don't mean what?
The bottom line, material things to me don't mean anything.
Let me write that down too. Material things don't mean much and don't mean anything.
Don't mean anything.
Material things don't mean anything.
The main thing is this. The main thing is this. If you could give me one thing, I'll tell you what I would want. I would want the time that I've spent in this marriage, the time that I wasted. That's what I would want.
Can't give it back to you.
But since you can't give it to me, then give me these things that are tangible.
Now, the time that you wasted in this marriage, you could have been doing what?
Probably
I could have been playing my game. I could have been with some other women.
Well, you was.
You know?
You was. That's what marriage is over with. That's why it's over with.
Me. If she tells me all the time about her man and her friend and all this,
well, you know what?
Let your friend spend the money.
I'm not greedy.
Let him.
Okay.
I'm not greedy. We can split it then. He can have half. I can
have half. Well, there is one reasonable person in here today. But
and
it's all right for you to say, I want everything because I don't want him to have it. That's real honest with me.
Right. Well, I want everything because I don't want her to have it.
And I appreciate honesty in this courtroom. But now there's a person willing to compromise. She says, I'll compromise. He can have half of it. You willing to compromise, Mr. Darden, and you still want it all?
I'll think about it. I want it all.
No, you know what you said? You'll think about it,
Yeah,
right?
I'll think about it. I've thought about it
No,
already.
I'm going to think about it.
I've thought about
And
it
I'm
already.
about to adjourn so I can think about it.
All right.
And I'll decide.
All right.
Court will be at recess.
When divorce court returns, the judge renders her verdict.
I thought that I said, I'm about to rule. And when I rule, I don't want anybody talking. Did I say that, Joe?
Closed captioning for divorce court provided by Divorce court is back in the case of Darden versus Darden as the judge renders her verdict.
Excuse me, Your Honor. May I say one last thing before you render your decision? If you don't mind.
You have more to say, Mr. Darden?
Just one more thing.
You didn't say it all.
I just thought about it when you were out.
Oh.
Rendering your decision.
What'd you think about?
I'm very saddened that this marriage ended up like this. Naomi got me arrested like about 6 times.
Okay, Mr. Darden, you're going off into another subject?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to let her know I
Okay.
don't appreciate it.
All right, you let her know.
Okay?
Now I'm going to let you know.
All right.
I'm getting ready to rule.
Okay.
And I don't appreciate you talking while I'm doing it.
I'm silent.
All right. Back in the Darden matter. I can't give you back the 17 years that you feel that you've wasted, Mr. Darden. Because if I were to give you back the 17 years you think you wasted, I'd have to give Mrs. Darden back the 17 years that I'm sure she feels that she wasted. I don't see how either of you can come to that conclusion. And for you to walk into my courtroom talking about, I want the marriage to end because of trust,
Right.
distrust,
Right.
to come in here so morally superior,
Right.
and after admitting you were the person who had the affair.
Right, which I apologize for.
Yeah. You kind of came in here riding pretty high.
I'm still going to ride high when I leave here.
I thought that I said, I'm about to rule, and when I rule, I don't want anybody talking. Did I say that, Joe?
That's what I heard, Your Honor.
All right. Did you hear that too, Mr. Darden?
Yes, ma'am, I apologize.
All right. Because you'll hear the ruling out in the hallway in a minute. And I know you're too sweet to act like that. Right? Now you can answer me.
Yes, I am.
All right. I can't understand how, after 17 years of marriage, either one of you could ask for everything, because neither of you is entitled to everything. That's not the way it goes. But since I can do some equity in this court, there was a compromise position coming from Mrs. Darden, and I applaud you for that. She finally realized she couldn't have everything. So I was going to give you something, Willie, because she couldn't have everything. But you know what you said to the court? Material things don't matter to me.
They don't.
They don't mean a thing to me. Since she has the children and material things mean something to her, she was honest about it. You just wanted to keep her from enjoying it with her man that you think she has. I can't get off into that. I'm going to award the TV, the VCR, the stereo, the living room furniture, and the bedroom set, and the rest of the items, because they don't mean anything to you, and I'm sure you'll understand since you're such a sweet person, Mr. Willie, to your wife. You know what I want to award to you, Mr. Willie?
What?
The mirror, so you can look at yourself.
Right.
Right.
Right. Okay. The man in the mirror.
Because that's all, you're into yourself so, and
Right.
you're not considerate of anyone else.
Right.
And you thinking that I'm the one and no one else and nothing else matters. It's either my way or no way.
Right.
I have a feeling that you're going to be by yourself for plenty of nights.
I doubt
and
it.
plenty of days.
I doubt it.
So I'm going to give you the mirror so
Right.
that you can keep looking at yourself,
Okay. I appreciate that.
since you're so in love with yourself.
Well, if I don't love me, who will?
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
It's my order. Court's adjourned.
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com.